Good morning, YouTube. JT Serenity Farms prepping here. I'm going to turn the camera around. Okay, so we're in the greenhouse. I got my NFT trays, my water system, my pool pump, my 100-gallon tank, and this side is a disaster. I have plants 3 days away from getting put in this system, which will run 24/7. I have a wood barrel stove I'm going to put in here at the far end. I'm going to take that wall to that side of the door off and build a small 8x10 room with the barrel stove to blow the heat into the greenhouse and see what I can do all winter long. I got a lot of work to do right here today. I'm going to clean this all up, lay down landscape cloth, and then bring in a bucket system, 2 raised beds, and a microgreen system for this side with a little bit of storage. So I just wanted to start this. It's a gorgeous Sunday afternoon here. What do we got? 86 degrees in the greenhouse. That little tiny right there. I don't even know if you could see it. 86. It was a low of 34 in here last night, and that's with both ends open. So let me get at this and I will get back as I make progress. Talk to you soon. Hey, JT back for a second. I found a visitor in the greenhouse. Kind of pretty, kind of scary at the same time. Whole lot of legs on that. It kind of looks like it's staring at you. But anyway, just wanted to give you a little peek at that. Still cleaning up. Matter of fact, I'll give you a look. Ooh, big changes. Okay, everything's out. Pick up my piles, lay down my landscape cloth. Snacks while I'm working. Yes, it's a Vienna sausage out of a can. Potted meat on a stick. They're still not bad. Remember these as a kid? So, I'm going to the new favorite spot for the chickens to lay their eggs. Here it is. Glad I spent all the money on the chicken coop, time and energy. So, I already got one this morning. So we got 3. Hey! What are you doing? Pecking the back of my leg. They love these pants. So, oh, that one's warm. 2 left. So, what do we got so far today? 2, 4, 6. Come on now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 so far. Right, Missy? These are some big chickens. Steak peek out in the yard. They like to leave one out there for me sometimes. They've been laying them anywhere and everywhere that they feel like it. This corner is a popular spot. Yeah, there we go. Is that yours, Missy? Okay. There it is. Let's see. Usually there's one laying out in the middle of the ground somewhere. Oreo, what are you doing? Heck. They love these pants. Nothing here today. There's usually one right there, too. Okay. Sorry. Hope nobody's getting dizzy. What are you in these pants? Huh? They follow me around. Get the size of those birds. Hey, hey. What? Huh? Huh? Did you get them? Alright, they're looking for flies, but I don't know what they're peck. So I have to walk around because there's always one egg laying around somewhere. But I have my entourage. They follow me. Did you leave me anything over here? No. Oops, didn't turn it off. Sorry, signing off. Yay! JT here, Serenity Farms Prepping. Good morning, goat. Even in a monsoon. I know you can't see anything, but there's the chicken coop, and the barn had to be cleaned. Oh, there's goats over there somewhere. They're eating anyway. Chickens are probably all hiding. Looking for bugs. These guys love the rain. You guys, not so much. They love being outside in the dark. Chickens are supposed to be petrified. I leave this light on because the chickens will come from their coop down the runway and all the way up towards me as long as they can see a light. Tomorrow I'll make a video as they come out of the chute. If I have my headlamp on the chute, they come out. Oh my goodness, they are funny. So, one egg this morning, which is usual in the coop, and then I'll get 12, 13 more out of the goat nesting box where there's one now. I can't fight it. They do 11, 12 eggs there. We'll go with it. So, while I'm still here, let's go across to the gym. There's been some changes. All good. Step inside. Ooh, toasty in here. Gotta admit, that Dynaglow 30,000 BTU propane ventless heater really works well. I hooked up a little fan above it to blow the heat into the room because this one didn't come with one. And it works just fine. Slight odor now and then. Alright, sorry about the wall shot. So, my daughter had a friend who had been gifted a free piece of weight equipment, and it sat in their garage collecting clothes and dust and good stuff. So last weekend, me and the boys went over, picked it up, and brought it to its new home. It's probably a $2,000 piece of equipment from the year 2000, I believe. And it does a lot of things that accessorize what we do with the power rack. I have an accessory rack now. I have a chart that goes with the weight equipment. Finished my molding on the top and the bottom. Brought out some of my hardware that was collecting dust in the house so it can collect dust out here. But nonetheless, a couple more pieces of equipment. There'll be a dumbbell rack along here with a mirror above, and then a dumbbell rack right here. And this is all going to be storage for certain prepping items. I'll just hang a curtain there though. But this thing shuts off. It's on number 3 now. It won't last long. It turns off on its own when it gets to a certain temperature, and then I just turn it off. There's no sense the pilot running. But when I first got it, I had a half a tank of propane. I will run another line through the wall with my 3/8 inch copper, and I'm gonna put a 20,000 BTU one down on the end so I can have 2, and I'll run a fan over in that corner to blow the wind this way, wind the heat, while this one blows it that way. just for the winter time. That way I don't have to get up at, well, you got to come out and start it manually. I wish there was a way that you could put these on a timer, but there isn't, because you have to press the pilot light and then hit the igniter, and then when it starts you turn it to your desired temperature. I've never gone past 3. It turns off after about 20 minutes, but all in all, very happy with it. So for now, JT signing off. Oh, how about those debates last night, huh? Good morning, YouTube. September 30th, last day. Greenhouse has made a lot of improvements. Still more to go, obviously. Got my fans up. And the big fella, hopefully won't need that one until summer. All the electrical is ran, as noted earlier. All these beds will be ready for seedlings. Shelf for storage. 82 degrees at 9:45 a.m. It's warmer than that in here. So, test pattern with the NFT system. As I mentioned, my pool pump was too big. I couldn't get enough pressure and keep it primed. I got rid of this entire section right here where I was going to add more trays, because I have 2 sections of 72 plants here, 2 floating beds, 5 buckets, and 5 buckets that I can add 5 more to each. Okay, so what do we have? I switched out to a little 620 gallon per hour low pressure pump that is obviously giving me all the water I need right now. It may slow down a little as more plants get added. Right now the tank is where it was, and I'm just using my tubing to run into my regular system, but it's working just fine. I have some suckers. I cut off some chili pepper plants and Tabasco that are doing quite well. These are all lettuce that are just about ready to be individually transplanted into a tray. I just needed them to be above here, as well as these. I just got tired of leaving them in the house. Cilantro ×2 and some Muir lettuce, which have all doubled in size. I'm gonna have to take the double plants out of the ones that have them, and I can probably transplant them into another cube like I did with some others. But as you can see, at first I tried 2 hoses because I thought 2 hoses in each one would allow more water pressure to be generated by the pump, and it didn't change anything. It was just, the pump's way too big. It's 1 horsepower. If I'd have had an entire unit on this side, the same thing, and letting it run both of these bucket systems, then maybe, but it wasn't worth it. I will take my 1 horsepower tank. I saved my tubing, and in the spring I'll make myself a stock tank redneck swimming pool / hot tub. This works just fine for what I got going. I have 2 other greenhouses also. It'll get done. So as you can see, I will plug the extra holes so that when I remove 1 tray, I can take the line out of it and just pop it into another hole on another tray while I harvest. Right now I would just set my tray on these 2 buckets, but I will get some cheap sawhorses to do that. Then they will be rinsed out, cleaned, and put back on in a rotation basis. But I wanted to see how this is going to work, and so far, not bad. Very quiet. These are all tomatoes I had outside that I decided to pick. Big beef. Some didn't get so big, but they'll turn in here, and then I can can these up and I'll have them all. Those are all I had left. So I cut these suckers last week off my chili pepper plants. I'm sorry, Tabasco. And as you can see, they're all taken off. I got 4 here, I believe, and I will transfer these to these buckets. I have some green beans that I cut suckers off my bush bean plants before I pulled all them outside, and they're growing well. So right now they go, each will plug in individually because I don't need this one right now, but eventually I'll hook up a timer here and they'll go get watered 3 times a day for 15 minutes. With the bucket system, the bucket is going to always have 2 inches of water in it, and as the root balls for the plants get all the way down, I can feel it, it's cold here, and the water is dripping out slowly. So they're all filled now. So there's water in the buckets at all times, 2 inches. The root balls will be down in the bottom. They're not fighting and looking for nutrients or water, which is the beauty of the hydroponics. And the timer will click them on maybe 7 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock at night for 15 minutes. Once the water gets to the level of the blue PEX pipe, anything higher than that drips out and drips back into the tote. In effect, aerating the system. You can't see it dripping because the net bag's in the way. Let's see what we got. So the water drips out once it gets running on a regular basis. When all the buckets are filled, it'll be a steady drip. So right now everything's running on a 20 amp breaker in my box, but I have a 100 watt solar panel kit which will easily run both bucket systems and my pump in this tank, which are all the same size. So that'll be good there. This one I just did up this morning, just PVC'd those, put the pump in, got some water in it. Just want it to be ready for when these plants get some root balls, which they'll start doing anytime. There's a little tiny root coming out the bottom of that one already. Very good. Some go faster than others. That might take a little while, but it will happen. There's very little nutrient in here because they came from the dirt to the water, so it's a little traumatic for a day or two, and then they adjust with the steady nutrients and they take off. So back to my buckets. As you can see, the water comes up through the pump, my black tubing. Then I have my spaghetti tubing where each one has 2 drip lines because I can put 2 tomato plants, 2 pepper plants, 2 bean plants in each one if I want to. But this is an experiment right now. I already know how well it works with 2 tomato plants and everything in it. But the system wasn't used all year, so I want to make sure everything's functioning properly. As you can see, everybody's dripping. Said it comes in, runs back down the 1.5 inch line and spills back into the tote. So depending on, tomato plants are really thirsty, so I'm adding 5-10 gallons once a week to each tote if I have 10 tomato plants here. As I increase, I'm going to add another 5 buckets on this side with another system that'll spill back in to this side, so I can have 10, 20, 30, 40 plants in here. Tomatoes are fragile. They need 38 degrees. So if it's minus 10 outside, I've got to have it 48 in here. I'm counting on my barrel stove, which will be on the back end as mentioned. But I'm also going to add a trailer furnace that I just managed to acquire. And that can blow in from another direction, or maybe it will be enough. I don't know. It's all going to be trial and error. The wood barrel stove can get quite hot. I've got to add wood before I go to bed, set an alarm in case the temperature drops too low. May have to get up at 2, 3 in the morning, come out and throw some more wood in. The alarm would be set 10 or 15 degrees above the danger point so that I can get out and put wood in time. But this will be a test this winter to see how it goes. I don't know if I will be able to use just the barrel stove, just the trailer furnace. All remains to be seen. I do have an inflation kit on this greenhouse. It's 2 layers of 6mm plastic from the furring strip all the way above the ceiling to the other furring strip. The plastic will inflate within a half hour. The entire 32 feet will be inflated. Raises your R factor about 5. Basically, your heat hits it and it comes back down, so the increase is actually better than a 5 just for that effect. The fans hopefully will do their job and circulate the heat. I have nothing sitting on the ground. This is all sand I had brought in to level this spot, so it didn't freeze last year. I could come in here even with no heat in here and no ends, and I could dig down 2 or 3 feet and it wasn't frozen. So hopefully that remains the same and I don't get a bunch of cold coming up underneath my plants, which is why nothing is sitting on the ground. So, short update there. I don't even want to talk about the debate because I have yet to find the words to adequately describe everything that I'm feeling about it. It's not going to change my opinion. I don't believe it's going to change most people's opinions of who they're already going to vote for. And there's 2 more debates. We'll see, what happens. Nothing changes my opinion on who I'm voting for anyway. And if there are still people who are mushy at this time, you're the problem, not the solution. So, with that being said, I got plenty more to do outside while it's not raining. Oh, I scored 100 gallons of water last night just from this bucket on my outdoor shower. Some buckets. I have a rain gutter on the outside of my greenhouse that actually collects about 5 gallons every 2 hours. And on the cabin, I had another couple buckets while I'm waiting for the guys to come install my downspouts. So I scored about 100 gallons of water last night, which all just went in all these totes. Very nice. So, just a quick update. I ramble. But for now, JT signing off.